Hey, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel, y'all. So, my name is Tiffany, and God normally shows me things in prophetic dreams. And so on here on my channel, I normally release prophetic dreams or just prophetic words he's given me or things he puts on my heart to share. So y'all, I am super congested and I'm fighting allergies and possibly a cold. So y'all bear with me, okay? I'm trying to breathe. But I had to get this dream out. This dream he gave me a couple weeks ago. But Lord have mercy, y'all. I need some tea. This dream he gave me a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was just for me. I thought it was something he was just sharing for me, but then he showed me it was for some of y'all as well. And like I said, I hope y'all can hear me okay. But this dream, God was basically showing me that some people's promises are a little held up for certain reasons. But let me jump into the dream, pray, and make sure it's for you. And if it is, ask God to guide you. If it is for you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to know the thing that he's talking about. It's going to jump out to you. You know, it'll just be confirmation, okay? All right, you guys. So getting right in there. In this dream, there's a woman that I know, and she has just given birth, right? Surprisingly, she has just given birth because she's in what you might consider to be her old age, giving birth. Like usually women at her age don't give birth, right? And so she's just given birth, and the baby, since she's in her old age, like the people who did the delivery are kind of tending to her on the side, and the baby's kind of left laying on the bed. And I get a sense that the baby is extremely constipated, right? So the baby's laying on the bed, and the baby is extremely constipated, and I can feel everybody else's feelings in the room, and everybody else is just like they're concerned about the baby, but they're tending to the mother first. But there is concern about the baby because the baby is extremely constipated laying on the table. And so I'm kind of looking because nobody's picking the baby up. You know, I know that most of the people are tending to the mother because she just gave birth in her old age. But then there was other people that could have picked up the baby, but they were afraid. And so I don't know, something in me just told me to pick up the baby. And so I went to pick up the baby. Yeah, I love babies. I love the kids, right? And so I go and I pick up the baby. It's a boy. And I'm talking to him. And I'm like, ooh, cool, you know. But so I'm talking to him, y'all, right? And I'm talking baby talk to him. And in my arms, you know, he's smiling. He's enjoying it. And some of his, he like, I can tell that he was constipated, right? I had a knowing. I could feel it when he was on that table. I felt all this tension in his body too, right? And so when I picked him up, you know, he was still constipated. He didn't just have a bowel movement because I picked him up. But the tension that he was feeling began to leave, right? He began to feel more calmer, you know. He was enjoying me rocking him. And I was talking to him, y'all. I was talking to that baby, and he was enjoying it. He wanted somebody to talk to him. And so I was talking to him and rocking him, and I held him close to my heart, you know, and he was just so beautiful, y'all. But anyways, as I had that moment with him, the tension in his body began to ease up. He wasn't as tense as he was, right? He still needed to release a bowel, but his tension in his body began to ease up as I began talking to him, as I began holding him, right? And so then the nurses and everybody, they finished up with the mother, and now she was okay. And she began to make her way from around the bed, and she was like, it's like, say I was standing here, she began to come around like this, and she was just watching from a distance, admiring, you know, me holding her baby. And I thought about it, I began to feel a little bad because she hadn't held her own baby, right? And the mother always holds the baby first, but she hadn't held the baby. And so I was like, I didn't want to be holding her baby before, you know, still holding the baby, and she hadn't held him yet. And so I was like, here, you know, you want to hold him to give her baby. And she was like, oh, no, it's okay. And so she was afraid to hold her own baby. And it surprised me because she's an excellent mother, you know, she's an excellent mother in a natural. And she was just watching from a distance, admiring me, holding him, admiring me, rocking him. But she was so scared to hold him herself. And so at some point, I kept talking to him, and I said, you want to, I offered for her to hold him a second time. And she said, oh, no, it's okay. And then she finally sat down. Because she was tense too. She was afraid that she was going to do something wrong, which was just odd to me because she was just a fantastic mother to me. And so anyways, it gets to a point where I'm rocking the baby, and I'm talking to him like I've been doing, and he's enjoying it. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, I had to go pee. Like I had to go to the bathroom really, really bad. I had to pee. I got to pee. So that's why I want to share this dream. But all of a sudden, I got to go pee, and I'm doing the pee dance all of a sudden. And so I already asked her, did she want to hold her child? I wanted her to hold her child at first, because it's her child, and she hadn't held him yet, and I was feeling bad for holding him before she did. But it got to a point where I asked her, and she politely said, no, it's okay. And she was enjoying watching me rocking him. And I was trying to, just be understanding and patient about it. I didn't mind holding him. That's, the mother always holds her child first. And so all of a sudden I had to pee. I said, ooh, girl, here, take him. I said, here, take him. I started doing the pee dance. I said, here, take him. And so she had to take her baby out of my hands, out of my arms. And so I was about to jet off to the bathroom because it's just like literally all of a sudden I had to go to the restroom. And so when I gave her baby, okay, so when I gave her baby and I turned back out, before I went to the bathroom, I turned back to see, and that baby, oh my God, I thought he was, he enjoyed being in my arms, but it was nothing compared to how he snuggled up in his mother's arms. And then how boys are with their mothers. And so, oh my God, he nuzzled up in her, her breasts. And oh my God, looking at them look at each other. And oh, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. And even though he didn't release a bowel with me, I had a knowing that in his mother's arms, he was going to release that bowel movement, right? And then I was off to the bathroom, right? And that was the dream, okay? And so what God had basically showed me in this dream, how I knew it was for me, because he gave me so many words to release, y'all. And sometimes, I'm about to tell on myself, I don't always release the stuff right away because, sometimes I be looking for more confirmation, and then I overthink sometimes. And, I'm still new to this, and I'm still growing and developing, in the gifts that God's given me. And so, I feel like this dream was like God saying, go ahead and do that, release this. And, when I asked him, I was like, Dad, is this what's holding up some things? Because I had some things in my life that were being held up. And he was like, yes. And so for me, in this dream, God was showing me the words he had given me to release. It was some dreams he had given me to release. He wanted me to release them. He was showing me that as I share these dreams, as I share the words he gives me, they're helping other people. They're helping other people's promises be released in a way, okay? Basically what he showed me, the baby has already been born. The promise is already here, right? That baby represents the promise. The baby has already been born. The promise is already here. Some people's promise is just constipated. I don't know how else to say it. The baby was extremely constipated. He was laying on that table, constipated, and everybody was afraid to touch him. And me holding him was calming him down. His tension began to release. He began to ease. The tension began to ease up off of him. So what God was showing me doing my part and releasing the words that he gives me, is helping somebody's baby release that tension. And I don't know if I'm saying this right. Let me say it like this. It may be encouraging somebody. Somebody may be wanting to give up hope because the purification process has been very hard. So some people may be wanting to give up hope, and maybe something I say may help give them a little bit more hope. It's helping them to hold their baby. It's helping them not to give up on them. It's helping to release that tension. It's helping the promise to be released into their life because they're not giving up their faith, right? And so God was just showing me that when I share the words that he gives me to share, even if it helps just one person, even if it helps just one person, in a sense, it's going to help that promise be. Me sharing my words is not me. It's not necessarily going to release your promise. Me sharing my words and encouraging you to pick up your baby and speak life over it and to do what you're supposed to do, you know, in the areas and the things that God has shown you, me encouraging you to do that, that's me doing my part. And once I do my part, then my stuff will be released. Immediately after I did my part with the baby, I had to go to the restroom immediately. I had to pee out the blue. Like, it literally came out the blue, y'all. After I did my part, I had to run and go and go pee immediately. And so that's what God was showing me. So for some of y'all, just like he had to talk to me, just like now, I'm not feeling that great. I'm talking straight out my nose, y'all. I need to blow my nose right now. I need to blow my nose right now. And I need some tea. But this is part of the instructions he's giving me to release these words out. You know what I mean? And I'm such a perfectionist. And a lot of times I overthink. I'm like, I didn't say this right. I didn't say that right. And I get nervous. And he wants me to just let it out. Whatever he tells me to say, just get it out there. And with yours, it may not necessarily be what I'm doing right now. But whatever he's told you to do, you need to do it so your stuff can be released. And in a sense, he's shown me by delivering these words, I'm helping someone. He's working in the principle of sowing and reaping as well. Help and you will be helped. You know, as I'm helping other people to release their promises, God is going to release mine to me, right? That's how he showed it to me, right? And so I hope I explained this right, y'all. But basically, he showed me that, you know, the baby was born, it was constipated, and he just needed to, he needed to release, you know, a bowel. You know, some people needed helping their babies release, okay? I hope I'm saying this right, y'all, okay? And I hope you get what I'm saying from it. So long story short, if God has given you something to do, whether it is, you know, maybe you have your own channel and you need to release that way, the messages he's giving you and you've been holding back. Now, let me say this. When you release these prophetic words, you come under attack, and it's kind of annoying, right? So the enemy has limitations. So even if somebody try to do something to you, it can't go past a certain point, right? It doesn't work. It always goes back to them anyways, right? So they might as well be just doing stuff to themselves. It's like, I'm rubber and you're glue, right? Okay, so anyways, you get the point. But there's times when I would release words and it was just annoying to be attacked, period. And so sometimes it could be a little discouraging and make you not want to. Sometimes I'd be like, Daddy, I got this to do this weekend. I don't feel like being attacked. I'm going to release this word later. In the beginning of this channel, I started doing that. But the devil, he would still attack me. So I got to a point where, you know what, it does not matter. And then I had to repent because I'm like, Daddy told me to release it on this day. And I had to repent. You know what I mean? I grow in pains or whatever, because no matter what you do or don't do, the enemy is still going to attack you. He's still going to attack you no matter what. So that was just something I was dealing with. I'm just sharing with y'all personal experience. So whatever your situation is, apply it the same. God could have told you to release a person. This is extremely important. Something he just showed me. He separated you from people in the beginning. Some people he's not done with separation, okay? He separated you from the people you can handle being separated from in the beginning. Recently, I've been seeing some stuff. Now he's separating you from the rest of the toxic people in your life. And some of y'all didn't think y'all was gonna have to let them go, but you have to. Because this person, the person he created you to be, is held back as long as they're in your life, okay? And so is some of the promises that he has for you, they are being held back as long as this person is in your life, okay? That's another thing. I'm gonna do a quick message after this, talking about basically some of the things that God brought to mind that is holding back some people's promises or whatever, that has them a little constipated. The baby was constipated. I don't know how else to say it. but it's here. The baby is born. The baby is here in the spirit, but it needs to be released, okay? But it's some things that you need to do that is holding it back. All right? Obedience brings the reward. Obedience will always bring the reward. If God told you to release some words you need to release them. If God told you to release some people you need to release them. If God told you to move. Whatever he told you to do that you have not done yet and you thinking you're going to do after the fact, no, go ahead and do that now, because it's holding up some of the things he has for you that he wants to release to you, okay? The promise is already here. Something is for some people, like I said, pray about this. For some people, something is holding up the release of yours, okay? And another thing I can share with you real quick, as I do release these words to you, when I do release these videos, little by little, y'all, little by little, and I hopefully this helps somebody. Okay, I have to fix this video real quick before I started. Y'all, I gotta go in a minute. I gotta go pick up my daughter from school. But little by little, as I release the videos that God has told me to release, right? He's been working. The last couple of months, the enemy has touched just about every area in my life. I have been under I have been under attack like never before. Like the last couple of months, right? He has touched every area, right? And so, yeah. And so, basically, the last 2 weeks as I've been releasing these words, and then the season changed too. God has been fixing one thing at a time. Okay? He's been fixing one thing at a time. First, he started with something small that the enemy took and he gave it back. Then this week he gave me another surprise too, you know? And I see what he's doing little by little, okay? What's in season for me right now is the dream that I shared about the enemy is about to flee. If you look back in my videos, I shared that dream maybe a month ago or whatever, because that's when God told me to share it, because we're all in different seasons. It wasn't for me when I released it, but it's for me now. And then Victory coming in and having her hands over everything, that's more of the season I'm in now. So I saw my enemy get big like a giant in front of me, right? And now I see God coming in, and Victory little by little starting to have his hands on everything, undoing what the enemy did, okay? So I hope this encouraged somebody, but I had to be obedient, and I had to be doing the things God has been telling me to do, right? So just keep being obedient. Just keep being obedient. And I'm telling you this because my situation, for what my situation looked like, it looked like I should be doing something else with my time, okay? The stuff God was telling me to do did not make sense for my situation. If I told you my situation and I told you what God was telling me to do while I was facing what I was facing, you would think I was crazy. But that's how God operates. This is about his glory, right? In so many situations, for instance, God brought to mind the Bible story, you know, when they marched around the wall and stuff, and he had, I might mess this Bible story up, y'all, but I hope y'all know what I'm talking about. But but they marched around the wall a certain amount of times, and then they shouted at it and stuff, and then you know, the wall came tumbling down. That's not logical. If you want to take out a wall, you don't walk around it and expect it to fall down, right? If you want to take out a wall, maybe the man could have hit it with a stick or something, or threw some rocks at it. You know, that'll at least look like you trying to do something to hurt the wall. But he had them walk around the wall, and that made no sense. They looked a little crazy walking around the wall and screaming at it. But the wall came down. And guess who got the glory from it? Guess who got the credit for knocking that wall down? Because man themselves didn't put their hands on that wall. All they did was obey God, and God took that wall out. Okay? I hope y'all flowing with me, okay? But my point is, obedience will continually bring the reward. I don't care what your situation looks like. Obey God. Because if you're not, it's holding up your release. All right? Obey God. Always obey God. Obedience brings the reward. All right, y'all? All right, so I hope this blessed somebody. But anyways, yeah, in that dream, Some people's babies was constipated. Your baby here. Your promise is already here. It's something you need to do for it to start being released. And if some of us been released, cool. That's good. Keep being obedient. More and more and more and more will be released. The more I obey God, more and more and more and more is released, okay? And don't worry about the enemy. He mad, but his time is up. His time is up. His time is up. You should not fear the enemy more than you fear God, all right? His time is up, y'all. And y'all release that stress too. There was a lot of tension in that baby. A lot of tension. That's another thing. God wants you in a place where you trust him. All right? He's trying to do a trust fall with you, where you trust him with everything in your life. Where you trust him with everything. It was a lot of tension in that baby. That baby had all this stress. That baby ain't had no peace. I had to try to calm him down and ease up some of that tension. Then when he got in his mother's arms, oh man, he had some peace. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. You know, he was going to be released in his mother's arms, but his mother first needed to see me comfort her baby, you know. That helped her some kind of way. But y'all, anyways, I'm about to go. I got to pick up my daughter for her bus driver to be mad at me. But y'all have a blessed day. Y'all have a blessed day. And whatever God told y'all to do, you know, just go ahead and do that. And you will start to see the promises trickling down. They will start trickling down. Things will start to be getting reversed little by little. But do your part first, even if it does not make sense for your current situation. That is how God operates, okay? That is how he moves. That is how he gets his credit. That is how he gets his glory. You will testify. This is something God told me right before I woke up one day. He whispered, he said, you will testify. And it wasn't just for me. You're going to have a testimony. All of us going through this will have a testimony. You will have an impossible situation that you did not fix yourself. And you will have a unbelievable answer that says nothing but God's name written all over it in capital letters, okay? So whatever he told you to do, go ahead and do that. All right, y'all. This video was not supposed to be this long. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be blessed. I pray that God gives you the strength that you need. Your baby is already here. Your promise is already here. Go ahead and be obedient and start releasing some of that, okay? All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Love y'all. All right.